I am Mark Andrade, and this exhibit will cover 5 pre-Raphaelite paintings that reiterate common medieval practices in literature that present hazards to man as beautiful women. I'll start with a brief background on the pre-Raphaelite movement. This movement was meant to reform the way art was created during Victorian England. The movement focused on recreating art that existed before Raphael. A lot of its advocacy centered around artistic techniques that utilized vivacious color and simplicity. The art produced during this movement were often correlated with medieval themes around religious concepts and mythology. For example, in Romance de la Rose, we often see women depicted as lustful, dangerous, and deceitful. Similarly, in Pre-Raphaelite art, we see the same thing. Women are portrayed as culprits that lead to man's demise, much like Narcissus' death due to a curse that Echo placed on him. In the following 5 Pre-Raphaelite paintings, we see this rendering theme carried on from Middle Age texts. We see the personification of Lauren gods as extremely beautiful women that one way or another seek to do wrong. This first oil painting, Isabella and the Pot of Basil, by William Holman Hunt, is a painting that illustrates a scene from a story of Isabella. In this story, Isabella falls madly in love with Lorenzo, which ultimately leads to her murdering him. She then removes his head, buries his body, and places his head in a basil pot. Eventually she is discovered and she dies. Hunt takes this story in this painting and hides Isabella's sexual appeal using a white translucent dress. He artistically recreates the scene of the insane-driven woman right before dying, and he propels it further through the beautification of her figure and physical characteristics. Hunt strategically creates a deceitful, innocent expression on her face and hides her lurking danger to men. Isabella and her demented love shrine is a clear rendition of the medieval theme that portrayed women as hazards to men. This next oil painting is named The Love Potion and was illustrated by Evelyn de Morgan. Many critics and others associate this woman with witchcraft due to the nature of her ominous expression and the negative connotation that the black cat resembles. The liquid she is seen pouring into the cup is interpreted to be a potion of love to control man. Unlike the witches of the 21st century, this witch is not particularly ugly. She wears colorful clothing and has a fair pale skin, which is often associated with beauty. Thus, instead of illustrating a sensual woman that has harmed men, De Morgan illustrates a beautiful woman with the potential to be hazardous to men through manipulation. This third oil painting, named La Bella Mano by Dante Gabriel Rossetti, personifies love as a beautiful woman with 2 angelic aids. This personification of love is intended to be Venus, which is a god associated with love and sometimes even prostitution. In this particular painting, Rossetti creates a woman with heightened sexual appeal admired by 2 angels. Like in the previous paintings, she has perfect pale skin and a dress that exposes her upper chest. Furthermore, analysts have claimed that the bed reflected in the mirror is indicative of current and future lovers. Rossetti's personification of love combines divine and earthly desire that entices ambiguity in the woman's capabilities in regards to love. This personification of love is reminiscent of the medieval text that personified virtues and sins as women with physically appealing characteristics. Lady Lilith by Dante Gabriel Rossetti takes a biblical figure with negative connotation and, like many of the pre-Raphaelite paintings, presents her with appealing physical characteristics. In folklore, Lilith is supposed to be a demon that is promiscuous and steals babies at night. Rossetti captures Lilith's promiscuity in the painting by making her aware of her own beauty and giving her a narcissistic persona. In this painting, like the woman in the other painting, she also has perfect pale skin that is highlighted by the black background. This scene perfectly captures the tendency for medieval texts to personify sensations as women and slap them with a negative connotation. Finally, Circe offering the cup to Ulysses by John William Waterhouse is another example of the negative portrayal of women. In lore, Circe is a sorceress that seduces her victims and makes them into animals through a magical drink. In this painting, Waterhouse illustrates her seductive and deceitful powers with the scene in which she offers some of her magical drink to Ulysses, a legendary hero. Yet again, the woman is depicted as having flawless pale skin with a translucent dress to highlight her seductive power through lust. In the mirror, Ulysses is illustrated as a timid man in her presence. Her position in the seat is higher above than anything else around her, demonstrating the power she has over her surroundings and further establishing the danger she poses to man. As demonstrated by this exhibit, pre-Raphaelite art really captures the method by which medieval literature liked to portray women. Middle Age texts commonly attempted to teach morals through the personification of religious entities and mythological stories as beautiful, flawless beings deceiving man. In all 5 cases, the women were portrayed in the same way through exaggeration of beauty and lust. The art produced by this movement not only changed the direction of Victorian England art, but also rooted and revived many medieval concepts, such as the one discussed throughout this presentation.